What's up, guys? Matt Harris here with Relentless Forward Momentum, and I know it's been a while since our last video, but I'm excited to be back on camera. Got a great lesson for today. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Tony Robbins and why he doesn't give a shit how you feel. So, quick warning. I guess I should have gave the warning before the profanity, but there will be a little bit of profanity in this video, but not a lot, not an overwhelming amount. So anyway, Tony Robbins, he's a peak performance specialist. He works with some of the most incredible people. I'm talking about Oprah, President Clinton, Andre Agassi. He's basically the guy that the top performing people in the world call when they want to go to the next level. So he's the ultimate consultant of consultants. He is a rock star, probably the closest thing to a superhero that exists in the world. But I watched an interesting video, or listened to an interesting podcast, I should say, with Tony Robbins being interviewed by Tim Ferriss, who's been a longtime fan of Tony's. But Tony was telling him about his morning routine. And Tony Robbins, whether he went to sleep or not, whether he's traveling or not, it doesn't matter in the morning, he throws himself in a bath of ice water every morning. It's how he starts his day. He's an absolute maniac. But he does this for a couple very, very specific reasons. And there was a quote that he said that really just stuck with me in this podcast. But he said, I don't care, I don't give a shit how I feel in the mornings. He said, because sometimes he's up late at night and he doesn't even get to sleep. But he has meetings and he has speaking engagements lined up for that day. And he has to deliver powerful message. So for him, he has to be performing at a peak level. And to do this, he's figured out that throwing himself in a bath water or an ice bath wakes him up. It gets him fired up, it energizes him, and it's what it takes for him to perform at the highest level. So that's something that I've always noticed. Successful people, they find a way to overcome those days that they just don't feel like doing anything. And I'm guilty of that. I'm sure you are. Even Tony Robbins says he is. That's why he throws himself in this bath water, this ice cold bath water, because he's developed this process that helps him circumvent and get around those feelings that he has early in the morning. So, like I've talked about in past videos, a process is something that is extremely important for taking you from where you are to where you want to be. The process works. When you develop this process, it works regardless of how you feel. So Tony Robbins is in that bathwater whether he feels great or whether he feels terrible. But there's one constant. He does it anyway. And he believes that it helps him create intention and focus for his day. If you only do things when you feel like doing them, I can guarantee you one thing, that you will be average. That is one key difference between people who do amazing things and people who just drift through life. Champions, they push through the tough days. They do the things they know they should be doing, whether they feel like them or not. It's as simple as that. So I want you to think for a second, what are two momentum building activities or habits that you could do today, not tomorrow, today, that are going to help you bring that dream of yours closer? These can be small things. Maybe it's writing 500 words for this blog that you've been meaning to start. Maybe it's buying the domain for the business that you want to create online. Maybe it's making your first sales call to see if your business idea has any merit. Or maybe it's just going to the gym. Whatever it is, do something. I have a reminder set on my phone, and at 9:30 every night it sends me a message, pops up on my phone, and asks me to think, what are two momentum building activities that you can do tomorrow that are going to create your vision and make it a reality? Subtle reminders, that's part of my process. Because it's really easy for me to just turn on Seinfeld, fall asleep, and not plan out my following day. But that reminder forces me to get out of bed, forces me to go to my desk real quick and write down two things. It helps me plan for my successes in the future. So remember, Tony Robbins has terrible days. You have terrible days. I have terrible days. We all have days where we just don't feel like doing anything. But Tony Robbins doesn't give a shit how he feels, and you shouldn't give a shit how you feel. So do it anyway. And we'll talk to you next time.